Hi there, I'm David Bachner. I am the head of business development at Panchama, and I'm here to talk to you all about carbon offsets. More specifically, carbon offsets, it's kind of the wild, wild west right now. There's a whole lot of different offsets that you can invest in, even in our great state of California, well-intentioned but poorly executed. Coal factories can get carbon credits for, in essence, reducing their emissions. And so what we are focused on at Panchama more specifically is carbon offsets tied to forest projects. And before I tell you about what we do, just kind of want to give you a little bit of context. About a year ago, the UN released a report that there are 2 billion hectares of land on our Earth that have the potential for reforestation and conservation. And this is land, mind you, that's not even necessarily suitable for agriculture or other uses. And the 200 gigatons that you see there is the equivalent of 2/3 of all human-related carbon emissions since the Industrial Revolution. There's a lot of momentum going in this space right now. Unfortunately, not fast enough in the compliance market, but every week, whether it's Microsoft a couple weeks ago announcing that they were going to offset all of their emissions from the foundation of their company to just this last week, Delta announced $1 billion that they were going to start putting into this to go carbon neutral. So when it comes to forest projects in particular, put frankly, only about 2% of the globe's offset funds are going towards these projects. And to kind of take a step back here, the current methodology for getting a project certified literally involves sending somebody out into the field to manually count and measure trees with a tape measure, as you can see. They then go back, whether 1 year to 5 years later, they measure it again, they get issued basically credits on this net delta of carbon additionality that is added from the forest. If there's, let's call it a act of God, like a lightning strike that starts a fire or illegal tree poaching, there's no real good way to really monitor and know what's going on. And because of that, there's just this big lack of trust and transparency in the market that's holding it back. Also, mind you, because it's such a labor-intensive process, it costs about $300,000 at a minimum just to get a project certified. So enter Panchama. What we have developed is technology that's harnessing remote forest sensing technology. So we take data from a combination of satellite imagery and LiDAR. So as you can see kind of in the middle there, it gives you this 3D image of a tree. And then we've trained these machine learning algorithms to identify the size, species, and age of a tree that allows us to measure what the biomass is of the forest in real time. We hired our lead forest scientist as his PhD in forest science from the University of Maine. And using our technology compared to forests in New England, we had a 1.5% error rate compared to field plot data. The other side, so on one side, right, we're taking projects, we're trying to advance the scale of the supply side to get more projects certified more affordably. And on the other side is creating a marketplace for companies, brands, eventually individuals to access and choose, to select projects that resonate with them, whether that's based on locality, price, biodiversity, whatever kind of resonates with them. And then taking it a step further than that is trying to help companies better tell their story. I had a friend just sent me a screenshot recently. I won't name any names, but she bought a flight. And at the end of buying her flight, the checkout page, it was, check this box for $2 to offset your flight with airlines offset partner, certified offset partner. And she sent me a screenshot and she's like, what does this even mean? So the other part of what we're trying to do is use these data visualization tools to basically create a product to help brands tell their story, to show, hey, we're not just carbon neutral, but these are the projects we are supporting, these are the forests we're supporting, this is the additionality, the leakage, the different kind of issues with forest projects to show what the actual impact of the offsets is going towards. So it's more than just greenwashing. A little bit about our team. We, small team. Oh, I guess I need to get my PhD to get my name put on here. We are a leading team of entrepreneurs and scientists, software engineers. We graduated this last spring of 2019 from Y Combinator. Lead investors Ryan Graves, founding team of Uber, as well as Chris Sacca and Paul Graham, and a few other. And yeah, I'm going to open it up for questions. If anyone out here is interested in kind of learning more about offsets in general, I have a booth over there, so happy to talk to you all about it.
Thank you, David. We do have time for a question or two. Any questions for David? One more?
Pardon the probably ignorant question. But when you're doing this, is this like an empty plot of land that somebody's actually planting a forest? Are they existing forests that just get certified? And you're measuring the growth? What does that look like? And yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. There are multiple different types of projects. We have started with projects that are more avoided deforestation. So we have projects in the Amazon that are REDD+ unplanned deforestation. So there's a big issue with believe it or not, armed tree poachers. So illegal tree poaching because the timber's money. We have projects in North America that are more focused on improved forest management, which basically means these are forests that actually have been logged. And it can still be logged, and basically the landowner is committing to sustainable logging practices, putting a moratorium for a certain amount of years, replanting trees in certain areas. We're in the process of looking into some afforestation projects, which would be kind of, as you were saying, planting new trees. So it runs the spectrum. The kind of the biggest thing we're looking for is projects that are quality. There's a lot of issues, and we have projects all the time that we don't list on our platform that were issued credits. But when we kind of use our satellite imagery, we look at it and we say, hey, you've actually allowed for too much deforestation since your credits were issued. They could theoretically, you could buy it from the project developer directly. We have other projects that we looked at and we go, okay, this is a great, the project looks great, except that it's in the middle of the rainforest that fortunately hasn't been deforested, so there's no, like, if this project didn't exist, it wouldn't make a difference, right? The forest is fine. So it can runs a spectrum, but the general gist is it's projects that are at risk of some area, and then it's adding some sort of net additional carbon sequestration by protecting it or replanting.
Great. Thank you, David.
Yep. Thank you.